this face. It's coming, don't worry. This man is named, well, we'll show it to you in a second. There he is, Li Lu. He may become the most powerful man in the world, but who is he? And why do you need to know him? And why does Warren Buffett apparently think he may be the right man to take over his $100 billion investment portfolio? There's a lot to talk about here. And joining us via Cisco Telepresence is Matt Cummins, CEO of JLM Pacific Epic. Matt, good to have you with us. You know a lot about China, and therefore you certainly know something about Li Lu. Who is this guy?
Well, Li Lu is a fascinating story. He's a classic China story, born in 1966, separated immediately from his parents in the Cultural Revolution, lived through one of the worst earthquakes ever in history in Tangshan in 1976, eventually made his way to Nanjing University, and ultimately was a student leader in Tiananmen Square. He escaped from China through France and eventually made his way to Columbia University, where he got a triple degree in economics, an MBA, and a law school degree, was an investment banker, and then a hedge fund manager. A really incredible story.
And so obviously incredibly bright. I know that Charlie Munger, who works with Warren Buffett, told the Wall Street Journal he thinks this is going to be the guy. But one of the investments I know that he got Warren Buffett into is one that Warren Buffett adores, BYD, that Chinese battery company. What other investments has Mr. Lu gotten Warren into?
Yeah, that I'm not as familiar with, but I know BYD obviously was the big one, right? So on the one hand, he has an amazing home run with BYD. On the other, his investment track record beyond that is somewhat suspect, and I think that's why there's a bit of controversy around this pick.
All right. So, I mean, of course, there's also irony about it that the wealthiest man in America, Warren Buffett, who has always been, I buy things I understand and very patriotic, could be picking a Chinese man to take over. I mean, nothing wrong with that, perhaps just a sign of the times. But what do you think we would anticipate if Mr. Lu were to take over? What kinds of things might change?
Well, I would think clearly Warren Buffett knows that the world is changing, and he has more and more of an eye on international markets, particularly China. So I could see they're talking about having multiple investment managers, so a team approach, and to have someone like Li Lu in the mix would make a lot of sense to bring that international expertise, particularly China expertise, to the table. I imagine Li Lu will stick with his knitting with technology, which is he has a strong background in, clean tech, alternative energy, I imagine, which are big areas within China. And then if he's part of the Berkshire platform, I would imagine he would leverage best practices within Berkshire in areas like insurance, for example.
All right. Well, Matt, thank you very much. Appreciate it.